I
Pardon me.
you're Blake, right? Is that okay?
No, I still didn't hear you.
He's Brian.
Oh,
I'm
Brian. I'm
Reed, yeah.
geez, I can't even read over there. It's Brian.
Yeah,
I was telling him earlier that this is a complicated, it's confusing.
I think I've got it all straightened out in my mind.
My intent is not to criticize or I'm just trying to get it done so that we get it done. We had a nice meeting yesterday. I just want to try to get this resolved. My son's trying to actually start building.
oh,
And he can't get his loan approved because they say that by the tax thing, it's, yeah, I think you've got it.
well, let's go ahead and get it started
Okay.
then. So we've got Commissioner Walker on Zoom. Would you guys introduce yourself? Just we're recording this just so that they can keep the minutes.
Sure. My name's Mike Bolender. I live at 5103 Rock Hill Circle, Idaho Falls, Idaho.
Okay,
I'm Tammy Bolender,
Tammy, nice to have you.
and I'm at 5103 Rock Hill Circle. I'm Mike's wife.
Okay, thank you. And we've got our Assessor Blake
Blake
Mueller
Mueller
in the meeting, Commissioner Walker on Zoom, and I'm Brian Reed. Commissioner Christensen will join us as soon as he can. They were doing their sewer budget at 9 o'clock, which was a already published meeting, and so he couldn't slip out. So help us understand, Blake, what's going on.
You correct me when I get wrong.
Okay.
Can't even imagine I could ever make a mistake. But see which one of these things is best to write with. I'm just going to quickly draw out kind of what is already existing on those pictures. This is going to be south 55th west. This is the roadway that goes along this property. And I'm just going to kind of draw this out. This belongs to Mike.
That's correct.
There's one that, let's see. This belongs to Mike. Belongs to somebody named Hyde. I guess I don't need to put it up there, but so there's a roadway. Gosh, I'm probably almost drawing the scale here.
Wow.
Actually, Blake Mueller is a very good artist.
Yeah.
I don't know if you care if I share that, but I say that in all seriousness. He is a really gifted artist. So I would expect this to be good.
Like this is, what I did is I just drew what it was to start with,
Okay.
and then
That's exactly correct.
the Perez's, Mrs. Perez is Mike's.
She's my daughter.
She's
Okay.
also named Tamara, so
Yeah, her name is Tamara also.
Okay.
I think
we
that,
won't get this one.
okay.
So what the intention was here is Mike had at one time, I guess, sold or given this piece of property to your daughter. with
Correct.
Access off of South 55th.
Correct.
What did I draw there?
55th West is what that is.
Oh, that doesn't look like a W, does it?
Okay.
Okay. Then the Perez's and Mike exchanged basically some land with quick claims. So Perez's gave all of this roadway and stuff to Mike, to which Mike afterward quick claimed, he gave it to Mike and Mike's wife.
Tammy.
And then for that, I'm just doing dot where Mike and we are given a piece of ground like this back to the Perez's. That gives his daughter and her husband access to their houses and buildings or whatever is there.
Correct.
And then
It was a
also,
10 acre for 10 acre swap.
Okay.
Just totally a swap.
and he's got a son that he's deeding this property that comes out here like this, I guess, sort of.
Correct.
So there's a quick claim from from Mike back to the Perez's for this piece. And then from Mike and Tamara to his son.
Nick.
Nick and Shawnee are there. Nick, that's correct.
Okay, so that's what we're trying to do here. Is all the last 3 deeds were recorded the exact same day. So when they did a quick claim, then a quick claim, and then a quick claim, it happened all at one time.
Correct.
When I looked at it after you left, it took a little time trying to figure this, trying to look at the deeds and stuff. I'm no mapper. I'm not gonna pretend. I certainly don't know the law on everything, but this piece that you're trying to give to your son, you're also trying to go across this property, give him access to that.
That's correct.
So that these people have their own access and your son has his own.
That's
access.
correct.
Okay.
That's exactly correct.
I was talking to one of my trainees there yesterday because Jill wasn't there yesterday at the time. She was thinking there was a problem with, this one has Mike and Tammy on it. The other ones that Mike owns are just in Mike's name alone. And so they were concerned, first of all, and Mike and Tammy on all of these, Tammy's name didn't need to be on any kind of a quick claim, but it doesn't hurt. And your attorney's probably right in having you on it. So if there was ever the sense that you had any ownership in these new pieces, you wouldn't. So in the interim in this, when we were looking, I had Jill redraw all these different deeds that are coming in here this morning. She's still working on it, but what she ran into is there's some dimensioned things that have got her guessing what they should be. They can guess and put some things in there, but Mike's got a survey that I think can clear that up.
That's correct. This is a professional land survey that was done by Eagle Rock Engineering, signed and everything, and it shows exactly what he's drawn up there in detail. And so it clearly shows who's got what, and if this will clear up the situation. The whole problem right now is that when the bank that my son's using, they called over here and said, we want to verify that Nick's got this. They were told that he does not have it because it's not in the taxing area, or I don't understand
It's just
quite.
not in our map.
Yes, it's not in the map.
It's recorded and it's over and it's legally in there.
Correct. It's
So if
legal.
it's recorded, why is the bank not recognizing that?
There's a big problem with what people perceive our maps are. They think we're a legal entity in the mapping area. Anything that we draw is a binding, and it's not.
Right.
Our maps are simply and only for the taxation purpose, for the assessor, for the treasurer, but the public over 100 years has come in to rely on things that we have a disclaimer that says we don't call this accurate. This is what has been recorded. We've drawn it. If it won't fit into the squares, we'll send out a thing, or if the ownership is in question, we'll bring it to their attention. But
So the bank is in error, not recognizing that recording.
they need to recognize the recording.
Right.
However, the thing that's a holdup in our office was the one here where the Perez's they quit claim to both Tammy and Mike. And so she's on the ownership through a quick claim here on the one that says Kent and Tamara Perez to begin with. But these others, Tammy's not on to quick claim the other. So they were concerned about that. To me, that isn't so concerning because she's just releasing any claim she may or may not have in it. But talking to Jill, she's still working on it. She feels if we could get those dimensions figured out, and then possibly, and I'm just going to say, I don't know why it matters if Tammy's name is on here to quit claim it altogether.
Sure.
They're asking, I guess, unless they change their mind, if they had Tammy quit claim out of this piece here, And then when this is all said and done, everything's put together, then Mike quit claims his interest in everything that's existing, and then comes back and adds Tammy in a quit claim, and that will take care of it.
Hey, Jill, you're welcome to come and join us here if you got.
Mike has a survey that'll give us those dimensions that you're wondering about. So that'll help you a lot, I think.
Well, here's the
You're welcome to have this, and I've written over here in the descriptions. This is Casey and Tammy Perez, and their property is, let's see, this piece right here. This is Casey and Tammy, okay?
Nick below.
And then over here is Nick and Shawnee.
Have you recorded that? It looks like you've recorded
It's
it.
been recorded twice. As a matter of fact.
Let me look and see the number on it.
And then I have all the rest. So I have this piece here, and all of this here is mine too. So this is,
So what happens when you're a great dad and deep property you with kids.
148.
These are all the same.
and yes, you're welcome to have these. These are copies from professional land surveyor that did this.
Now, one thing I was just talking to Esther a little bit now, is one of the issues of getting a building permit.
Interestingly enough, they've been given a building permit.
Yeah, I was gonna say they should have been given one on the instrument number they recorded.
That's correct.
So they can build on it, and then the only thing that would hold it up is they can't get a CO, a certificate of occupancy, until all this is cleaned up. So we got time.
The other problem that
Get
we've
it all
got
done.
though is the bank has called over here to verify, and they use
Ownership.
the mapping.
Okay,
And if you guys could just, while we're clearing this up, if one of you could call the bank or have the bank call you and say, hey, we're working this, and it's just a matter of getting done, and then the bank will give them their construction loan.
what's the name of the bank?
It's Idaho Central, no, excuse me, it's the Beehive, or the,
Oh, no,
it's the,
Beehive Credit
I
Union?
believe so. Let us call Shawnee. Would you call Shawnee real fast?
Can I call, I'll text her. She'll
Yeah,
probably.
Beehive's ISU now.
It's the credit union that is holding up.
Okay.
And so if you guys verify, there's no problem with money or anything like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
It's
no.
just the ownership issue that they don't want to give a loan because they don't have the ownership issue. And again, like I started this comment, this is not an easy one to figure
Oh,
out.
no, but I kind of looked at it and puzzled through it, and the ideal thing would be the parcel that you have that has Tammy's name on it. You quitclaim that legal description from you and Tammy to you. All the other deeds can be processed, and the piece that ends up with Nick or with Michael and Tammy on it, we've got a legal description for it. The only thing, the fastest, the one that's actually got the legal descriptions on it that are actually recorded, is that it's that very first deed that you quitclaimed from yourself, that Perez has quitclaimed to you and Tamara. Now, if you were to take that deed and quitclaim it from
I'm gonna step away and call her. She's
From-
not answering her text.
Michael and Tamara, just to Michael, then all those other deeds can be processed.
Perfect.
And then the
So-
breaks, and then everything ends up in the names that you need. Now, you might have to do one other deed after that to put from Michael back to Michael and Tamara.
Okay. So the one from Perez's to me, back to me,
Matt
is the
Griffin.
one that shouldn't have
No, I
Tammy
just, Matt.
on
Yes.
it. Tammy Bolender. This is complicated because Tammy
Yeah, there's two
Perez
Tammys.
is my
Yeah.
daughter. And
Yeah,
okay, so the Perez to Bolender should just be me.
Okay.
yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
we'll redo that deed
Okay,
and bring it back in and have it done.
Okay, so, and when you do redo that deed, record it to correct I think
Okay.
it's,
is there a special
It's 6342, I believe, but come back to the office when we go back there and I'll show you. So if you transfer 6342, you have them do that as a corrected deed. That puts it first in process.
See, I think that was part of the problem, like you said, there's all these deeds came through at the same time.
Right.
So when they were trying to do this, it didn't make any sense because they did one deed first and then it's like, holy, how did all the rest, anyway.
You do, and what we have to do is process each deed individually, so we get one done and then we go to the next.
Right,
The one that's holding it up and making it so we don't have the dimensions that are actually on recorded documents is that very first one.
okay,
So if you re-record that as a correction deed,
okay,
And that's the terminology you use in the
Yeah, you
clerk's
need to put
office, is it's a correction.
you put right on the deed, because you got the original correct.
You can just use the original. and
You
write
just,
it on.
yeah, you just use the original deed that is recorded, put on it, re-record it to correct. Well, you will probably, you got to have the original deed. So maybe, I don't know if the title company has it or Perez's have it. But you record that deed from,
can it be a copy of it or
no,
whatever
no,
it
they
has to
won't,
be?
they won't let you do a correction on a copy. But you just need to do a deed from, you bought Tamara and, or is it Tamara L?
Well, we're both Tamara L. Isn't that
Okay,
just even
it's the-
crazier? It's the Perez versus the
Perez to
Bolender.
the Bolender, and you need to go from Bolender, Tamara and Michael to Bolender, Michael. And then
Okay,
you also got the AKA on there. I mean, you just put all of that on there and everything can be processed and it'll go
Okay.
through fast. Then we can let the bank know. That's not a problem letting the
can you
bank
do,
know.
we got the person's name and everything, if you could do that. They're literally trying to start construction.
We want to try to dig in September.
Oh, yeah,
Run
yeah.
So,
His name is Matt Griffin with Beehive Credit Union out of Rexburg because he's the construction person, the construction loan person. So he's out of Rexburg,
Okay.
Beehive Credit Union.
So if you can get that deed done, if you can get the deed so that we get everything into the name of
me first,
you first,
okay,
then we can process everything and we should be able to get it done fast enough that you can have a parcel number. We can give you a parcel number, but it won't be active till next year. But we'd also have that to get to the bank.
perfect.
So once that one deed's corrected, and we need to call it a correction deed because that takes it from being recorded that here back up to being recorded before all those other ones. And then it's just smooth sailing after
Super.
that.
So Tammy Perez should have the original deed, then, is that
I
right?
hope so, either that or the title company.
Okay,
Find out who's got that original deed
okay.
and then just go from Perez's to Bolender.
Which title company you've been using for all this?
I see that's part of the
It's a
problem.
Amerititle.
I
It's
think
Amerititle.
Amerititle is the one we use. I'm not sure which one Tammy used.
I think
so-
Amerititle fit.
I think Tammy Perez used a different one originally because I had a conversation with her
I think so too.
and I think she used a different credit union. So,
Or it's the title.
title
company's,
company years ago, because I wasn't around at that point in time.
Yeah, I've got all that back on my desk too, so if
Okay.
you want to walk back over
Can I
there.
borrow yours? Oh, here's a pen. I was gonna say, this one's not working.
Is that part of the reason why a lot of this wasn't cleared up by title companies because there were so many quick claims?
Mm-mm.
Because they don't go through a title search, right?
Only
Worked for
if
me.
they've taken out if they have there's no,
Yeah,
they
there's
didn't
no-
open an order. No, there's no order number on this, so they didn't open an order. They might have just done it as a courtesy, as an accommodation.
Right, happens a lot with a quick claim.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty, it looks complicated, but it's a pretty easy fix. If we can get
Okay.
that first deed
Okay.
corrected, then it's smooth,
This-
then it's smooth.
Part of the issue with this is this was actually recorded the first time in 2019.
Mhm, yes,
But nobody told us that it didn't go through or
the
anything.
title company had been notified that it did because they're the ones, they called us and asked, okay, what needs to be done? Apparently I didn't talk to them. Apparently they
Well, they called
called.
the second time because we were told we had to redo a bunch of
Yeah.
deeds, but they didn't tell us exactly what happened. We went to two different title companies, AmeriTitle and Title One, to try a different title company. And they spent like a week each at this and said they can't see anything wrong with the deeds, both of them. And so we even talked to Peter Christofferson, who's the one, he's a legal attorney with Holden Kidwell Hahn and Crapo.
I know Peter.
And he's the one that did the original documents. And he said there's nothing wrong with the documents. So we had two title companies and a lawyer that said this is correct. So
Yeah, but it's the name and also the dimensions, because we can't assume what the dimensions should be
Okay.
off of. We can figure it, but we're not guaranteeing that we're gonna transfer.
well, that's why I
land
brought
over.
this survey from, I had this done back in 2018 when we did all this. And
That ought to completely clear it up, shouldn't it?
Well, there's
Should have
some dimensions from a lot to an existing lot. Like there'll be a dimension right here. Because the way the lots look right now, that we don't have a dimension for. We got the overall dimension, but we don't have the dimension that takes us from point A to point B. And I put it on a map over in our office to show you the different points.
Eagle Rock Engineering has all of this on a CAD or whatever too,
Yeah.
if you need something like
So
that.
did we just use these dimensions then, Jill, to get it to snap?
They have to be on a deed. A survey makes a parcel, but a recorded document creates that piece of land.
But they use this document to
So they should
create.
match.
Yes, they
Yeah,
should.
we
Yes, they
can't,
should.
the thing of it is we can't take all of his pieces of property, what she's got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's 5 pieces of property involved in this, and we can't take all those 5 and put them all together and then split them back apart. So you're making a split on 5 different pieces of property, and we don't have those dimensions from the
Correct.
boundary of one to the boundary of another.
And I told you
It's
earlier, it's
complicated.
very complicated. Again, I'm not pointing fingers at that. I just want to get it done.
Yeah,
That's
let's get
all.
it cleared
Yeah,
up.
we can do this, and
All right.
it's that
If
very
that's-
first deed.
If that was part of my problem yesterday when I talked to your other gal and there is, she didn't want to even tell me. I asked her, well, what do we need to do to correct this? And so now that we're to the bottom. Anyway,
She's
we're
a little
good.
more careful because we can't give legal advice, but she's got her whole career ahead of her.
Understand.
I'm at almost the end of my career. and
So
it's
what
like-
can they do to you, right?
It's like, we can give you suggestions. It's not legal advice in any way, shape or form, but
Okay.
the suggestions, options, then it's up to you to decide which option. But
No,
I think that first deed, if you can get that just to you, get the original, re-record to correct grantee, is what it ends up being. Record that and we'll process it. And if you record it today,
We're gonna go take off and do that right. As soon as we
We'll
can find out where the deed is, we'll have to call the title.
we'll
company.
pull, the minute you record it, let us know. We'll pull that deed
Is there
today
any way you could call this gentleman to tell him
that we're working on it.
that it's gonna happen and that it's in the process?
Yeah,
and
as soon
that-
as you record that, well, yeah, we'll tell them we're working on it, that you're gonna record a new deed, and then once once you record the one that needs to be fixed, then we'll go forward.
Okay.
Just make sure you record the correct deed.
See, they're also trying to line up all of their contractors and
Oh,
they
yeah.
don't wanna do that unless they have a contract. I mean, you
No,
understand.
it's-
It's
yeah.
a hard enough time to deal with.
Exactly. These guys are way out. Okay, we'll get on it right away. I appreciate this very much. Blake has been awesome. This
Oh,
is the
yeah.
first time I met you. Thank you very much. I'm
course.
happy and I appreciate you. I don't know how late you stayed last night trying to figure that out.
Not real late, though.
I appreciate it. I know you had to stay sometime to do that.
Yeah, and you wrote down which instrument number you need.
You said
Thanks, John.
6342.
Yeah.
Thanks,
but
Blake.
come
Thanks, Jill.
That's for
Okay.
sure. I don't want to tell you to run. If you want to do it, anytime.